You never hear anyone say, "It's not my job to educate you about white nationalism," do you? They're clamouring to talk to anyone who'll listen. And of course, unless you happen to be a teacher, it's not your job to educate anyone about anything. But we do need that educating to be done by someone eventually. I have had a lot of people reach out to me to say my videos pointing out the errors in the arguments of Molyneux or Sargon or whoever else led them to reconsider their politics. But there's also a chance right now for me and other creators to establish our own narrative here on YouTube. Even if you make the perfect video which completely disgraces some anti-feminists, the desire for their type of content still exists. And that's the real problem. However, the desire is also clearly there for more leftist voices on the platform. So I'll repeat my call from a while back. If you want to get started, now is a great time. Over the course of the next few years in particular, leftist YouTube is going to grow massively. So make a video and share it. It's a lot of fun.
I think we should make videos and share them.
I hear it's a lot of fun.
Okay, so how do we do this?
We'll want software, probably something that works on both Mac and Windows.
I'm already paying for Creative Cloud, so let's just download Premiere.
Fair. And we'll probably want a better camera. How about this one?
You know what? That looks good. We can see ourselves in it, and the whole detachable lens thing is pretty fun.
Cool.
Alright, we'll go with it.
It's a camera.
Do we need to do something for audio?
We could use the mic I use for music stuff.
We're not already?
I think that'll do it.
Is it recording?
Yeah, watch the squiggles.
Oh, jolly good. Well, that's it then. We've seized the means of production.
Technically, I think it still counts as private ownership.
Maybe it's personal property?
If it's still the means of production...
You know, private ownership of the means of production is the most efficient way of managing those means. Without it, would you two be able to do any of this?
Oh, fuck off, Libertarian Jeff.
Aw, but I want to debate them.
You'll have time for that later. We've got stuff to do.
What, are you scared? You leftists never want to debate because you have no real arguments. I will have you know I have lots of arguments.
Jeff, focus.
Whoa, did we just add sound effects?
Yeah, thought that'd be neat.
Neat. And fair enough, we do need to get this done. But I am going to want to do some debate. I think the left is sometimes too quick to write people off for holding terrible views and is then unwilling to engage with them or debate with them, while the right just views debate as a blood sport, a competition to see who's strongest rather than a tool for allowing the participants and the audience to learn more about an issue and gain greater nuanced understanding. And I really want to have more productive debates, even if that means arguing with myself.
Yeah, I don't want to get into debate though. I find it gets way too adversarial way too quickly, and would probably just open us up to a bunch of crud from the internet. Plus, I think I'm just bad at it.
That's okay. There are two of us, and you can do a lot of the research.
I do love research.
One, we just bought this house and gotten married. I mean, there's 100 projects I could work on. And I'd really love to get into woodworking more. And we've been talking about doing gardening, and I'd love to do some of that. And naturally overthrow the entire capitalist system, obviously.
And I suppose we can weave in my books and my music and my knitting.
One of the projects I really want to work on is our marriage certificate. I am going to attempt to get this frame sealed that I sort of decorated with dried flowers. I built the frame and decorated it all in kind of a hurry, so I didn't get much of a chance to actually
seal it or really do it all that well. I may at some point remake it, but for now I want to protect it and hang it so that we can look at it every day and remember that we're married.
So, we're talking about the channel?
Yeah, and what we want to do with our channel. One of the videos that I'm looking forward to is the organizing and organizing.
Yeah. There's a lot of rooms in this house that are kind of unusable because of how much stuff there is in them.
And I think we should do it relatively soon, because the teacher strikes keep happening. And I think it makes a very good opportunity to talk about the history of labor organizing.
So how much of that desire to do the organizing is personal and how much is political?
The personal is political, Jeff. You should know this.
In any case, we could use the teacher's strike to jump off into sort of broader discussion of public unions and do a video where we use the Pullman Porter story as a jumping off point for looking into civil rights and labor struggle and how they intersect.
Yeah, and I'm also realizing that I really don't know a lot about like the UAW and civil rights, despite growing up in Flint. I do wanna talk about the history of Flint, which I find very fascinating from tip to end, but I actually don't know what the UAW was doing when it came to civil rights.
So we've got a number of topics that are related to organizing labor
And a number of rooms that we need to organize in our house.
yeah,
We've got the workshop, the studio, the craft room, and the office.
the kitchen.
And the kitchen. Alright, we can do a nice 5-part series. Okay.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do some biblical stuff.
Do you have any guiding notions of what the videos would be about beyond
Authorship and the process of canonization. Because I think those are very important parts of context that people don't really get if they have a religious background and are brought up reading the Bible as kind of just open the page and receive wisdom from God?
So do you have any notions about what sort of craft you might want to pair
God, that's a bit
with
harder.
Bible
I don't know,
study?
bookbinding?
Actually, we do have a good friend who makes sketchbooks, and we could probably do a video on bookbinding. People can sit down and watch somebody make a book as they discuss the book.
I'm totally going to make Atheist Sunday School.
We can probably come up with other book-related crafts, scrapbooking.
We could do the place of religious organizations, theology in various organizing struggles, while we organize our bookshelves.
That would actually be really cute. That'd be really adorable. And I did want to do sort of like a let's look at how various different forms of, I guess, institutional power intersected with the civil rights movement. So
The church is a big
the church is, yeah, and like churches just in general, the concept of organized religion, looking at the history of American Protestantism being a justification for slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, but also the side of how black churches and how the story of Moses, for instance, played just a really important role. And then sort of contrasting that with how organized collectivization in terms of cooperatives, unions, and sort of mutual benefit societies that formed and how those played a role. And then
could also go into the religious histories of those.
intersections everywhere, because
We are intersectional feminists.
Yeah, fair. Good point.
weaving in intersectionality, which,
Oh yeah, weaving in intersectionality is
thinking about it like, what are the characteristics that are common to the people that have tended to be in power, and the ways in which, as a byproduct of how they structure things, creating all of those different hierarchies where being different from the group in power tended to mean you had less power even if you weren't part of the group that had real power. Which is a topic that I can definitely make more clear in an actual video. Rather than a sentence where I use the word power too much.
Yeah.
And maybe actually, because both of these are things that I have a particular interest in, looking at renewable or low carbon energy, and in particular looking at the necessity of nuclear power, while at the very least designing and maybe doing some basic testing on a masonry heater.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I feel like it might help some of your climate change anxiety, because knowing that there is a lot of paths in the nuclear, just in that one field of science, that could potentially lead to like an actual silver bullet.
Okay.
It's fine. You're fine.
I'll be fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything
We're
will
gonna
be okay.
Fine.
I'm fine.
It's fine. We're all fine.
Where are my benzos? I have a problem. Actually, it's gotten a lot better in I think
couple weeks.
Last couple of weeks. I quit Diet Coke and I'm biking to work again.
And we're growing things.
And I gotta say, having little seedlings where I'm like, this, I will put it in the ground, and in a couple of months, I will have kale that I can eat, is in fact helping me imagine a positive future, even if it's a positive future in like 3 months where I have kale in a stew.
Let's see. Oh, right. And we definitely want to make a hoop house.
Oh yeah.
Are there any other projects that we think we should bring up? We almost certainly have enough audio to put
Let's hope
together
we
a
can.
minute or and a half.
Yeah. We are almost at an hour?
I feel like we can probably pull a minute and a half out of this.
Well, we made a video. God, that was a lot of work.
It was pretty fun, though.
Yeah. I guess we should share it now.
Yeah, do that thing where we tell people to like, share, and subscribe.
Should we make it clever somehow? Kind of make it silly?
I am so done right now. I got nothing.
Yeah, maybe we should just call it a wrap.
Yep. That's a wrap. Liquor and hoes. I like liquor and hoes. Cigarettes and dope and mustard and bologna. Liquor and hoes. And one night down at the Legion, met a girl. She was nice. She was pretty and pleasing. She said, "Hey boy, we should do some marrying." And I said, "Sure, but before we do, there's something that you should know. I like liquor and hoes. I like liquor and hoes. Cigarettes and dope and mustard and bologna. Liquor and hoes." Then one night, drinking at the Legion, she walked in. I
it could